Hi there, my name's Tanisha. I'm here to introduce you to Rual.Bid, and I'm also going to teach you how to play. Rual.Bid is an exhilarating new platform where you use speed and strategy to outbid your competitors to win a cash prize pot called the Dynamic Prize Pool. This is an opportunity to make money while having fun. The Dynamic Prize Pool is a combination of the amount of bids placed by users multiplied by the percentage of bids gathered in the prize pool, typically set to 40 to 60% of all bids. I'll start by explaining how things get started. The starting bid kicks things off. It's the lowest bid amount available in the auction and the first bid that begins adding money to the dynamic prize pool. Rual.Bid always places at least the initial bid, and usually several more. This is because we want to establish a worthwhile dynamic prize pool for the bid. Once a bid is placed by someone other than Rual.Bid then immediately stops bidding, and the dynamic prize pool is available to be won by any eligible bidder. That could be you. Now, keep in mind that bid amounts are risked, lose or win, and that only one next available bid can be made at any given time, when that bid is made possible by the bid settings and conditions. Now there's two ways to win the dynamic prize pool: running out the timeout period and making a maximum bid. Let's start with number one. The timeout period. Once you've placed a bid, the timeout counter starts. If the clock gets to 0 before someone else places a bid, that person wins the pool. However, if another user places a bid during that time, the timeout clock transfers to the new bidder. This is where strategy comes into play. You need to strategically time your bets to beat out your competitors. The second way to win the dynamic prize pool is by making a maximum bid. The maximum bid is the highest bid amount that a bidder can place in the auction, and only becomes available once the second to highest bid is placed. Throughout the auction campaign, the next available bid amount is always the current bid plus the bid increment. There is only ever one next available bid, so when the maximum bid becomes available, you gotta be quick. If an auction campaign nears the maximum bid amount, there will likely be more bidders competing to be eligible to place the final bid, because placing this bid wins the auction outright and the bidding campaign is over. And you've just won yourself the dynamic prize pool. Once you've won, you can request your money to be withdrawn. Your funds will be in American dollars with no fees. It's as simple as that. For your peace of mind, know that Rual.Bid reserves the right to ban anyone from bidding that is caught abusing the system. We're here to ensure you have a safe, fair, and enjoyable experience. We're planning for contingencies, but if Rual.Bid servers become overloaded at any time, the bidding will continue where it left off as soon as we come back online. Plan accordingly. I have a final tip for you future bidders. A successful bidder will be able to navigate the chance to win by considering both the timeout period clock and the maximum bid parameters, and placing a winning bid according to strategy or speed. So, let's get into an example, shall we? Every auction has a name, so for the purposes of this example, let's call this one the Golden Eagle. We have a sense of humor here at Rual.Bid. Okay, let's set the scene. The auction starts on a Monday at 2 p.m. local time. 60% of all bid amounts go into the prize pool. The auction starts at a bid of $25 and increments by $2.50 between intervals. And anybody wins if 6 hours and 30 minutes go by between their bid and somebody else's. The highest auction bidding can possibly get is set at $100. And if it gets to that point, whoever successfully places that bid wins the whole prize pot to themselves. So, as you can see in this specific example, there were 15 bids total in this auction. The first 5 were placed by Rual.Bid to get things started and stock up the cash prize pot, and the remaining 10 bids were made by 6 real competitors. On this spreadsheet, the campaign details correspond to the settings of the full auction, whereas the starting bid process really only corresponds to the bids 1 to 5, to the right, because those are the settings that arrange how the dynamic prize pool gets to an amount that people say, like, in this example, I'm willing to risk, say, $37.50 to have a chance at winning, say, $112.50. Those particular starting bid process settings manage the rate at which the pot is gradually increased, till somebody thinks it's worth risking money to win it. On the left side, we have how much our users bid each time, and in the middle, we have how much time was left on the time clock, if or when another bid was placed. Now remember, in this auction, if that 6-hour and 30-minute timeout clock gets to 0 on a user's bid, that user wins the dynamic prize pool. On the furthest right, we can see our dynamic prize pool. With each placed bid, our prize pool grows. The dynamic prize pool is technically registered after the corresponding bid is successfully placed first. User 1 starts out the real bidding by placing a bid of $37.50 with a dynamic prize pool of $112.50. So, when bid 6 for $37.50 is made by user 1 of the public, the bid history for the first 5 bids are sectioned off on the auction page, and it is clearly indicated that Rual.Bid has stopped bidding immediately for the whole auction. And it is now up to the market forces to see what occurs and who will win how much money. After Rual.Bid's bid 5, the bidders themselves begin funding the prize pool independently of Rual.Bid's influence, and the bidders decide amongst themselves through the auction how large the prize pot is going to be, and who is going to be the big winner for the occasion. Moving on. An hour and 15 minutes later, user 2 makes a bid of $40, taking the timeout clock from user 1 and increasing the prize pool to $136.50. A few hours later, user 3 joins the auction and makes the next increment bid of $42.50, increasing the prize pool to $162, and giving themselves a chance to win through the ticking timeout clock. User 1 bids again. Clearly they are following the game and trying to make strategic moves. They pay to bid a new amount for another opportunity for the timeout clock to possibly run out for the win. The game carries on. 3 new users each make a bid. We see some players make repeat bids like user 1 chose to. Towards the bottom, we see that after a bid of $60, player 4 manages to run out the time clock, somehow, and wins the whole dynamic prize pool of $382.50. That's the game. So, let's review. In this example auction scenario, there were 6 bidders total in addition to Rual.Bid. The auction started at a bid of $25 and increased to $60 with a dynamic prize pool starting at only $15 and ending up at $382.50 after only 15 bids. The whole auction campaign took about 1.3 days. So, I want you to have a really good understanding of the amount of money you could win here. Think about it. User 4 spent only $107.50 to win a total of $362.50 for a total return of 256%. Congratulations to them. Now, in this example, user 4 won with the timeout clock running out. But if people had kept on bidding, it could have been completed in subsequent days by someone successfully placing the max bid of $100 at the exact right time. Never a dull moment with this game. As it turns out, if you're looking for a strategic way to win money and test your skills against other competitors, join Rual.Bid. As always, have fun and happy bidding to all.